Hello, everybody. Sorry for the wait. Hope everyone's having a great Thursday night. It is currently Thursday, December 4th. We're here in December, first show in December, I believe. I know we have a week ahead news show Monday. This is for Northeast Ohio Sports Show here on the Lee Doodle channel, episode 35. Hope everyone enjoys it. I don't think I ever explained, besides my first episode, what Lee Doodle means. Is just from Scott Doodle, who used to be a CSGO player for NA, North America. I'm going to get the show ready to send my mom. She always likes watching. Hope everyone's having a great, week back from Thanksgiving. Some people have time off, some people don't. So, all depends on how your week's going, guys. One more day till Friday. We got this. Just hold it in. Hold. You see live scores above and below me. Free for the Dallas-Detroit game. Free. Below, we have the Etihad Airways Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, which is December 5th through the 7th. Free practice 1 starts in about 7 hours and 46 minutes for F1. Last race, title contention for Lando Norris and Max Verstappen, who's 12 points away. That is just crazy, guys. Crazy that Max is getting back. He was a little over 100 points away from Lando about 6 races ago, maybe 8 races ago, and he's coming back slowly. We'll talk about that more later. First, we're talking about the kick that never was, the NFL's wild ghost kick fiasco. A crazy special team blunder. Can't wait. What happened with ghost kick in a game between the New York Giants and the New England Patriots? Giant kicker Young Ho Koo lined up a 47-yard field goal. As the snap came, instead of striking the ball, Koo planted his foot, completely missed the ball, and kicked for turf. The ball didn't budge, and the holder tried to salvage it, but it was immediately tackled. It wasn't no trick play. There was probably no one open going for a pass because they weren't expecting that to happen. And that is hilarious. It kind of reminds me of Charlie Brown, with everything going on with Charlie Brown. Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up. Uh, the attempt went down as a 13-yard loss rather than a missed field goal. Commentators, players, and fans were stunned. Kind of funny, on a national broadcast, even legends like former pros in the booth couldn't believe it. One called it the weirdest missed kick ever, kinda was. Social media exploded with memes and jokes and disbelief. Koo tried to explain it afterward, blaming cold weather on a possible unstable ball for messing up his timing. But honestly, critics say it looks more like a mental or technical collapse. I mean, that's pretty deep, a little hard. I mean, people make mistakes all the time. Quarterback overthrows a ball. So, I mean, yeah, kickers kick, but, when you're a professional kicker and you try hard that much, it could happen. But it is funny as crack. For the Giants, who've been rotating kickers all season, this might be the low point. Didn't even know that, so funny to see. The league even listed the play as not as a missed field goal, but as a sack on the holder, showing just how bizarre it was, and it makes sense. He didn't touch the ball. It wasn't a missed field goal. Never attempted. Pre-fired. Yuck. Now I'll be going to the Browns game. I attended it this Sunday. It was very cold. Last Sunday, my bad. I kind of wanted to go and see Sodordo. I got invited from my good friend Trevor, who does the Healthy Living Show, which will be getting kicked back here probably in the spring, or maybe we'll have a winter episode. We're talking a lot about food right now. We talked a lot about that on the show already, sourdough, stuff like that. I'm getting a lot of soups ready for the winter, which we already talked about too on the show. One of the last 2 episodes, we talked about soups. Both the Browns, 12th game, 49ers, had a good time. They ended up losing. Let's go over game leaders real quick. It was a tough 26-8 loss. We were pretty close to a second half, but second half we just collapsed. Passing yards total, Shedeur Sanders had 149. He was 16 for 25 with 1 touchdown, no picks. Bryce Purdy on the other team had 168, about 20 more. He had 16 attempts for 29. 16 passes for 29 attempts and 1 touchdown as well. For rushing yards, actually, Quinshon Judkins had a way better day than Christian McCaffrey. Judkins had 91 yards on 23 carries, no touchdowns though. But McCaffrey had 53 yards, 20 carries, 1 touchdown. So way better average for Judkins. He's just going off. him and Samson, like me and Hunter talked about, before the season, we knew they were going to be dogs, and they are. Dawkins, he's played football in the snow before at Ohio State. He's going to be a dog, and that's what a very smart thing. These Wisconsin, Ohio State, get guys from the north that know how to play in the winter. That matters a lot in the NFL. These Southern SEC guys, not really. Receiving yards for Browns, both tight ends had the top, which is funny, not much. We're for wideouts. Fanning Jr. had 43 receiving yards, 3 receptions, and 1 touchdown. George Kittle for 49ers had 67 yards, 4 receptions. Sacks, Myles Garrett only had 1. He is going for the record, has had crazy. He'll have to go off a little bit more to get the record, but still going off. Not a 5-sack game, but 1 sack still good. C. Farrell, D-end, for 49ers. He had 2 sacks. Tackles, Caleb Sorsinger for the Browns had 10 tackles, 5 solo. Very good. Once again, D-end Farrell for 49ers. 9 tackles, 6 solo. So definitely a good D-end. I said our final score was for 49ers 26, Browns 8. 49ers improved 9-4, and the Browns fell for 3-9. The Browns actually outgained the 49ers in total yards with 253 to 252 just by 1, but it wasn't a full story. Our offense failed in critical situations. Cleveland went just 3 for 11 on third downs, really bad, and 0 for 4 on fourth downs, really bad. Horrible play calling throughout the entire day. It was sad. Rookie QB Shedeur Sanders was under center. He threw 149 yards, just 1 touchdown, like I said. His 1 touchdown was a 34-yard strike to rookie Harold Fanning Jr., followed by a successful 2-point conversion thanks to a run by Krishan Jenkins. I think it was a Wildcat maybe that gave Cleveland an 8-7 lead just before halftime. So we were going up into halftime, but after halftime, the things unraveled. No points, limited production, and control surrendered to the 49ers, capitalized on Cleveland miscues. San Francisco scored 3 times on short fields, two following turnovers, and 1 after a 66-punt return by Sky Moore. Yeah, horrible special teams, horrible play calling, not much heart. It was a cold game, but it's kind of crazy that guys from San Francisco can come in and still whoop us in this cold game. Special teams are also brutal. We had a missed punt, and a field position management repeatedly gave 49ers short fields to score. Defensively, the Browns couldn't get off a field on third downs, or 49ers converted 11 of 17 third down attempts, which is crazy. Shedeur Sanders showed flashes. He was a little inconsistent. 50%, his first full-time starter. Good first half, rough second half, multiple sacks. Pressure got to him, especially with a horrible O-line right now and horrible play calling for guys like him. We are not doing quick handoffs. We're not really playing how he should be playing. We just think, we're the Browns, I'm Stefanski, we're just going to keep playing the same play calls. We have to change for our quarterback. On the defense, the Browns took a heavy blow when defensive tackle Malik Collins caught it off of a knee injury. Likely out to the game and beyond. I think he had to get MRIs and stuff. This hurts defensive front already. Struggling to contain San Francisco's offense. While Judkins and Fanning Jr. had their moments, the Lions struggled to protect Sanders, like I said before, especially under pressure from 49ers pass rush and special team-driven field position shifts. It happens. What's the next game? I could look it up. Yeah, let me look up who the Browns play next. We play the Titans the 7th this Sunday at 1. At home as well. So maybe a game we could win. Hopefully we can. I think, once again, if we keep having Sanders play, because we did have Gabriel going for 1 play and he did bad. This passed it for 0 yards. It was basically a negative loss play. We really need to establish for a run, and like I said, kind of actually play and play call to how Shedeur Sanders needs to play. He is a mobile quarterback. Maybe go a little bit more West Coast. Maybe go a little bit more options. Like I said, if we establish for a run, there's a lot you could do with play action as well. And he's better at play action, better at moving. We've seen that. He is decent in the pocket, but if he's able to scramble out of a pocket and still throw it, even on the run, short passes, medium passes, but we've seen him be able to stop, square up, and bang deep passes, even out of a pocket. which we've seen guys from Baker. That is like a lot of mobile quarterbacks right now. So we're seeing a lot of those guys got chips. All right, now we're going to F1. Once again, we have it below. We have F1 standings after last weekend, which we missed the show because of Thanksgiving, was the Qatar Grand Prix. Before we talk about this, make sure you drop a like if you're enjoying the content. Drop a follow or subscribe is what it's called on here. You can follow us on Facebook in the description. Subscribing us on here really helps. A like really helps your algorithm. Same with Facebook. If you could drop a like on our posts, maybe share them, that really helps to get the word out. Because all those Facebook links, you could watch the VODs on one. We have all of our VODs from our live that get uploaded instantly. Unless we say something dumb and need to edit it, and then it'll be uploaded the day after. I appreciate everyone stopping by. Hope you enjoy the content. We'll keep going. So once again, Qatar was a Max weekend. Max got 30 points in Qatar. Oscar Piastri got 26, and Lando Norris got 18. So it's better than Las Vegas, which we also missed because of a week before, which was a great race. However, Lando and Oscar got banned because of plank. So they both got 0 points at Las Vegas. So this is actually kind of helping out Max a lot. And if we actually go through the list, one thing I am a little bit noticing is that Max only has 1 DNF this year. Lando has 3, or DNF or 0 points, or 0 points. Oscar has 2. So in reality, Lando's still in first with the most 0-point races, which is crazy. At Vegas, Lando got 0. Max got 25 for winning. Oscar Piastri got 0. George Russell got 18, getting second, and Andrea Kim Antonelli got third, got 15 points. So the podium was Max after disqualification because it was Max and McLaren, but they got disqualified because the FIA wants to make this entertaining. It was both Mercedes, which I'm happy with. Seeing Kimi Antonelli as a youngin', a rookie getting podiums was amazing to see. All right, so going away from Vegas, good weekend. Wasn't too overly hype. At the end, they were driven in a pink Lego Cadillac by Terry Crews to the podium. Very American. I like it. Lego also announced that they'll be sponsoring a F1 Academy team, which is the women's league. Started off by Susan Wolf, who's Toto Wolff's wife. And she's actually driven an F1 car before in practice. One of the only women, too. The only woman in this century, too. It's only been women in the past, back in the 70s and 80s, when there wasn't crazy sexism like nowadays. Yuck, yuck, yuck. A lot of those because the Germans and the Italians actually respect women driving and don't have a problem with women racing. But we don't talk about that. Just read a history book on racing. Qatar, we had, like I said, Max getting 30 points. Lando got 18. Oscar 16, so Oscar got second, Lando third. So the problem was they had a sprint, which Max won as well. But the problem was with a race as well. Oscar Piastri definitely could have won. Maybe Lando definitely. They could have got 1-2 and Max third. However, and this happens sometimes in F1. So in Qatar, they put in a 25 lap minimum for tires. They don't want you to overheat your tires too much. It's a hot race. Basically what happens, if I'm not mistaken, it was basically lap 22 or 23. And, they're doing very well, and they're like, let's just switch tires now. They go get new tires, come out, and then I don't know. I'm sorry. My bad. I think it was lap 22, and a yellow flag came in for a crash. And for some reason, McLaren thought that some people wouldn't pit. But everyone down the field pitted besides them. Because it was lap 22, you would only have 25, 3 laps left to pit anyway. Why not? That minimum sucks. So you can get that done early and still finish the race. Or make a 2-stopper anyway. And it was just... I get what they're doing. Like they kind of shot themselves in the foot overthinking it. Because when you're in the lead, you do have to pit first. But, obviously, if you're in the lead and you wanted to pit and you have 3 other people that don't pit, who cares? You get past them, you're better, you're faster. Now, what they wanted to do and what they expected to happen was they don't pit, Max doesn't pit, stays out. and then at the same time, the people in front of Max stay out. Or Max pits and people behind him don't pit to gain positions that were behind, like Lewis, Carlos, guys like that, to get up in the field, which we've seen before, but everyone pitted. So they were hoping that Max would pit, people behind him would pit, so then when they come out on the yellow flag, Max would lose positions, probably 3 or 4, maybe even 5. But everyone pitted, so they got fucked. It was a dumb play. We've seen it, Red Bull, they had Hannah Smith, who's their strategy engineer, on podium with them. I'm happy to see that. I like to see the engineers on podium, especially when they're women strategists. Very smart. Happy to she got her sign. She deserves it. Looks like George Russell, though, got next, and then Carlos Sainz, and then Kimi Antonelli, and then George Russell. However, what's interesting is I'm pretty sure I'm going to talk about this. Carlos Sainz got a podium, so cool to see. Number 1, Lando Norris at 4:08. Number 2, Max Verstappen at 3:96. He's not tied anymore. 3, Oscar Piastri at 3:92. 4, George Russell at 3:09. He ain't close. 5, Charles Leclerc. 6, Lewis Hamilton at 1:52. 7, aka Kimi Antonelli at 1:50. Charles Leclerc has 2:50. Alexander Albon in 8th, Carlos Sainz in 9th, Isaac Hadjar in 10th, Nico Hulkenberg in 11th, Fernando Alonso in 12th, Oliver Behrman 13th, Liam Lawson 14th, Yuki Tsunoda 15th. For constructors, we have McLaren in 1st. They've already won constructors at 800. Mercedes is in 2nd at 459. 3 is Red Bull at 426. 4 is Ferrari at 382, and since Red Bull got 35 points last week and Ferrari only got 4, I believe Ferrari's too far away, and Red Bull will be getting 3rd. 5th, Williams. 6th, Racing Bulls. 7th, Aston Martin. 8th, Haas. 9th, Sauber. 10th, Alpine. And look at that. Because of how Carlos Sainz has been racing, Williams getting 16 points at Qatar, 10 points in Vegas. They are now 5th. Great to see. So for the race, we had once again Max winning. We had Oscar Piastri in 2nd, about 8 seconds behind, which is crazy. 2 pits. He did have the fastest lap though, which helped take that point away from Max. 3rd, Carlos Sainz, like I said, got podium. He was about 22.6 seconds away. 4th, Lando Norris, 23 seconds away. Bad day for Lando, but Oscar was racing. He's won there before. 5th, Kimi Antonelli. 6th, George Russell. 7th, Alonso. 8th, Leclerc. 9th, Lawson. 10th, Yuki Tsunoda. Hamilton ended up 12th. This weekend, like I said, we have Abu Dhabi. It's the Yas Marina circuit. It's been the last race for the last 4 or 5 years. Lap record was established by Sebastian Vettel in 2009. It's a 140.279. 21 turns counterclockwise. Circuit length per lap is 5.554 kilometers. Total distance is 305.335 kilometers. 55 numbers of laps. It's got 2 pretty long DRS zones, and there has been battles here before. There's slow turning turns, some fast turning turns. Only really about like 2 fast turning turns, maybe 3. But a lot of 90s. So excited for it. And actually maybe 4 or 5 fast turning turns. We consider turn 10. So excited for it. Yeah, last week the Qatar Grand Prix didn't disappoint. I ended up watching it after once I got back. I took up a championship and set up a freeway showdown in Abu Dhabi. FIFA season was over, think again. Which is always great to see, and F1 probably doing that. They put in the money for that. I'm gonna get a Lawson's real quick. Max Verstappen took the win, like we said. It was a wild night race at Lusail. Oscar Piastri started on pole and looked strong all weekend, but finished 2nd. Like I said, they basically misjudged the timing of a safety car. Oh my god. Oh, okay, let's see if that helps. So we'll have to see. Um, there's long straights, tight braking zones. It's also nighttime. A lot of Middle Eastern races are because they're so hot. Also, Vegas, when you're in a desert, could favor whoever gets set up right. Any slip, especially under pressure, could be costly. Will Max Verstappen maintain momentum and pose under pressure? Can McLaren rebound? And would he beat Norris and Piastri to maintain urgency? Now, let me tell you the point differences. So I'm looking it up. There's like, I think Lando has to get out of the top four and Max to win. Also, the Penguins are playing. It's in up a second. 3-1 above the Lightning. Tristan Jarry is goaltending. Alright, Red Bull came out with a cheat 3-minute read. That's old. Here we go. He will win the title if Verstappen finishes first, and Norris finishes fourth or lower. He will win the title if he gets second. However, Lando needs to get eighth or lower. So if he gets second and Lando's fifth, he loses. And also, if he gets second and Norris gets eighth or lower and Piastri gets third or higher, he doesn't win. Piastri will win. Verstappen finishes third, and Lando needs to finish ninth or lower, and Piastri will need to finish second or higher to win. Sorry, one. Who do you finish first to win? Verstappen is third. So we'll see. You know what I mean? It's a hard stat sheet. If he gets second, he's basically screwed. If he gets third, he's basically screwed. We know most likely unless there's a crash. And if there's a crash, I'm done, bro. Let there be a clean race for the love of God. How much they've been getting screwed. That's my opinion. What I think is going to happen this weekend, though, I think Lando's going to pull his nuts together. I really hope he can. I think Max has that goat in him. But I'm pretty sure if we look who won. I'm pretty sure it's Lando. Yeah, Lando won Abu Dhabi last year. So I think he might be able to do it again this year. Hopefully, no crazy stuff. Lando first. Probably Max second, Piastri third, or maybe even Lando, Piastri, Max. McLaren might try to just be like, hey guys, we made all these mistakes this year. Let's pull it. We've dominated here last year. Red Bull is coming back somehow without Adrian Newey, which is incredible. I do think a lot of it is I didn't like Christian Horner. I hated him since all that shit came out. And also kind of just how he was, his ego. So, now they have a technical guy in there. I really think that helps. And personally, I do think Lando's going to win the championship. Let's go to the NHL real quick. Pittsburgh Penguins, their 6th week. Last Friday, they played Columbus. We talked a little bit about. They won in overtime, 4-3. Yeah, Jarry was a goalie, and Crosby was the best player of the game. Saturday, lost Toronto 7-2. Bad one. That was a Silvas game. However, on Monday, we won against Philly 5-1. Jarry was our goalie, and Jarry was for MVP. Once again, we are playing Tampa Bay. Started off at 7. We are at Tampa Bay. That's 3-1 bottom of the second. End of a second intermission. My bad. Sunday, December 7th, we play Dallas at 6. Tuesday, December 9th, we play Anaheim at 7. Tuesday, December 11th, we play Montreal at 7. So, next race swings on. Cool. I won't talk too much about this stuff. Columbus Blue Jackets. Since last week, like I said, they lost to Pittsburgh. That was Greaves. Oh, wait, let's go back real quick. Pittsburgh is currently 13-7 and 5. So, good points. Pittsburgh the Blue Jackets lost against Pittsburgh on Friday. They won Monday, December 1st game, 5-3 against New Jersey, which New Jersey is a good team. Merzakilinis was for goalie and Coyle MVP. They are now 12-9, 5. They will play Detroit today at 7:30. I'll check that score right now as we go through some other scores while we wait. Saturday the 6th, they play Florida at 3:30. Sunday, December 7th, they're at Washington at 7. Tuesday, Carolina at Carolina 7:30. Next Thursday, December 11th, Ottawa. 7 o'clock. Blues are down to the Bruins. Blue Jackets are up from the Red Wings, 3-4. 4 minutes left in the second. Penguins have about 18:51 left in the third, 3-1. We'll be going over Cavs real quick, but before that, I do want to go over Metropolitan Division. First, we have Carolina at 16-7. New Jersey Devils at 16-9. Capitals at 15-9 in third, having a good year. Penguins in fourth at 13-7, 5. Philadelphia Flyers having a good year too, and we swept them 14-8. Islanders 6, 13-10. Blue Jackets 7th, 12-9. Rangers 8th, having a bad year so far at least, 13-12. Yep, quick content for the Blue Jackets. This week they are 12-9 by Metropolitan Division standings. In their last game, their record's 4-2-4. Now NBA, let's go over Cavs. Since last Friday, they played Atlanta and lost 130-123. Mitchell had 42 points. Mobley, 14 rebounds. Garland, 10 assists. Sunday, we lost against Boston by 2 points, 117-115. That put us at 12-9. Mobley had 27 points. Mobley had 14 rebounds. Garland had 8 assists. Monday, against the Pacers, we won 135-119. We had some hard games. Against Toronto, too. Last Monday game we lost. But, so we lost, we're 1-3 of the last 4. We're 13-9. That last game against Indiana, Mitchell had 43 points. Had to go off to win. Tyson had 11 rebounds, and Mitchell had 6 assists. Indiana's a playoff team just like Boston and Atlanta and sometimes even Toronto. Wednesday, December 3rd, yesterday, they played Portland. Did they win? We'll find out. We lost. Of course we did. We are now 13-10. We are playing the 15-6 Spurs of all the young players. Friday, 12-5 tomorrow at 7:30. Yesterday, when we lost 122-110, Mitchell had 33 points. He was 12 for 26, 6 for 6 free throws. We really need to come together because some of these teams are going to be hard. Then we play Golden State Saturday at 7:30. Next Friday, December 12th, we play Washington at 7. So we got a little break. So we're getting points. Like that game against we lost to the Knicks this is a while ago. I don't care about that. So it happens. Like we talked about, like points. really, like, I think our bench players need to do better because we got scores. We've always done them, and even like sometimes Mobley or Garland, Mitchell. Like, we need to be more consistent as a whole, and just have these stars be more consistent. But that's it for me. I wanted a little bit shorter episode this week. If you once again, if you enjoyed the content, please drop a like. I appreciate you stopping by for the Northeast Ohio Sports Show, episode 35 here, December 4th, 2025. One more day till the weekend. Hope you have a great Friday. Don't forget to stop by and see our week ahead news show on Mondays with me and Tommy. That is at 8:30, same time this show is. Appreciate everyone. Have a great night.